Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Finding Balance, where we try to find balance in our everyday lives. So today we're going to be making something called sauerkraut, and it's kind of like, it's a fermented food, but we're going to be fermenting cabbage. And so sauerkraut is full of vitamin C, and when it's naturally fermented, it's full of probiotics. And we know, or if you've been following health at all, you know that probiotics are amazing for your gut health. So today we're going to be looking at how we can naturally ferment our sauerkraut and how we can help our guts and our immune system with probiotics. I am not a nutritionist or a naturopath or a doctor, but I do follow the advice of my own naturopath and having as many probiotics as I can throughout the day. Everybody's different. I might need more, you might need less. So today I'm just going to teach you how to make it, not tell you how much you need. So the first thing you need to make your own sauerkraut is cabbage. All right, so we're going to be doing sauerkraut, so that's cabbage. We're using red cabbage because that's all I could find at Whole Foods. It is organic. You don't have to go to Whole Foods. You can go to your local farmer's market. You can go to any grocery store. It's going to be about the same price. Most grocery stores now have organic cabbage. I just happened to be there at the time, so that's why I got mine from Whole Foods. You're going to need a giant knife to cut your cabbage up. You're going to need a chopping block or a cutting board. You're going to need a colander to clean our cabbage. You're going to need Celtic or Celtic, however you want to say it, sea salt, or pink Himalayan sea salt, or pink Himalayan salt is also good. I don't recommend table salt. And you're going to need some organic peppercorns. You can add any seasonings you want. You can also look at the Asian version of sauerkraut, which is kimchi, and they use they make it spicy. I'm kind of basic with my sauerkraut. When I make my own pickles, I like to use garlic and dill and all sorts of other spices. But with my sauerkraut, I really just like salt and pepper. And then you're going to need a giant mason jar, however much you want to make. I like to make a lot because I like to have it around. And you're going to need some distilled water. You don't want to use your tap water. It's got all sorts of nasty heavy metals in it. Also, if you've made your own before, which I have, I'm going to be using a little bit of the juice from that I had from my leftover sauerkraut that I've made in the past. I always keep a little bit of the juice just to keep the fermentation going. So there's lots of good probiotics in here, and it helps get the fermentation started. If you haven't made it before, it's perfectly fine to ferment by itself. But the next time you make it, make sure you save a little bit of your juice. All right, so the first thing we're going to have to do is my least favorite part, which is chop this whole thing up. So just give me a minute. And don't judge my chopping skills or my cutting skills because they're not great. Now that our cabbage is all nice and rinsed, I'm gonna do a quick cleanup. All right, so now I've got our nice clean cabbage and I've got our mason jar. I'm gonna start, I like to put the seasonings in first. I don't use too much peppercorn, and I actually do not measure it. So about a handful of peppercorn. And for the salt, I like everything salty. So you might not want to follow my recipe if you don't like salty, but the salt will also keep your sauerkraut nice and crispy. So I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of salt. And my jar is about 3 pints, so that's what I like. And I might even add more salt later if I try it. So now I'm going to put in my cabbage. Make sure that I fill it up as much as I can, but not too far because you want your water to cover all of the cabbage. All right, that was perfect. Now, move this out of the way. I've got the juice from my last sauerkraut. I'm gonna pour right in here. And I've got my distilled water. I'm gonna fill it up till it's over the top. Now, what I will say is, I'm gonna put this on, but I'm not gonna put it on too tight. What you're gonna do is you're gonna let this sit out, and I'm gonna put it on my counter over there, and I'm gonna let it sit out for about 3 days before I check it. And then I'm gonna check it, and I'm gonna try it, and if I like it, then I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator. If I think it needs to be more sour, I'm gonna let it sit out about 3 more days. I probably wouldn't go longer than a week and a half. I fermented some carrots one time for about 2 weeks, and they were actually pretty gross. So don't go too long, or it gets too soft and kind of sour. Well, you want it to be sour. It gets really sour and really gross. So about 3 days to a week is pretty good for mine. Continuously check the pressure, because it might, it's never happened to me, but fermented things can explode if you let them sit for too long. So, all right, I'm all done. So I'm gonna put my sauerkraut over on my counter, and in 3 days I'm gonna check it, and I'm gonna see how it is. I hope this helped you, and I hope you try to ferment your own sauerkraut so that you can get as many good probiotics as I think I'm getting from mine.